Comin At
It's time once again for another episode of Comin At Ya. Comin At Ya, a podcast about the world of mixed martial arts, boxing, pro wrestling, Comin At Ya, and heavy metal music with a slice of comedy for good measure. Comin At Ya.
We're back.
Yeah, try it again. Go. Now do it.
And we're back.
Episode 197.
I am Christopher Scott. This is Bullet.
And this is what's going on in your world today.
It's like nightly news.
Hello, I'm Walter Cronkite.
Hello. So we're back. Episode 197 is brought to us by
Stitcher Smart Radio, the smartest way to listen to radio. Create custom playlists, download, and stream thousands of your favorite shows for free.
WWE Network.
Million Classic. Check it out for all y'all ladies that like wrestling.
Netflix.
Netflix got a lot of good stuff.
Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, they got a lot of good stuff.
He's mad because I threw something at him.
Why would you throw something at him?
Because I'm trying to pay attention to this.
I'm trying to see what's up on the screen.
I'll get you.
Extreme Cage Combat.
Helen, you're looking good.
Extreme Cage Combat 30 is coming up, November? At the Philadelphia Armory.
Yeah.
Leatherman Tools.
Use it every day.
Jack Daniels.
Band-Aid for your soul.
Resptattoo.com.
All your tattoo needs.
Dad's in cargo shorts.
Dad's in cargo shorts.
Loves to get people drunk.
Loves to get people drunk. I think he's going to be in town in the next week or two
Oh, jeez.
as well. So we'll have him on.
That'll be a good time.
And I'm just having a bad day.
Why are you having a bad day?
I don't know. It started out okay, and then I had a lot of bullshit for work. Then I came home, and at 6:15, I get an email from my son's soccer coach, his new soccer coach, Declan,
Yeah.
and tell me about practice that starts at 6:15. So I didn't even know he was playing on the soccer team, for starters.
Wow. Parent of the year right there.
He played last year. Janice signed him up again. And apparently he's got a game Saturday. He's got one Sunday.
Yep.
He's got practice tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Declan or Aiden's got practice tomorrow. Declan's got soccer tomorrow, or 2 games, or a game over the weekend.
So basically, you're going to be busy being Mr. Mom,
Yeah.
shuffling these kids from
But
practice
here's
to
the thing.
practice.
Here's the thing. On tomorrow night, my wife's going out with her best friend,
Yeah.
and they're staying out over the city. They're having a sleepover. You got a hotel, her and a couple other girlfriends. Exactly. Good. You pontificate from there.
So what?
Who's got the volume on the? He's got it. Yeah. So
I mean, it's like, do you really want me to cut a promo about it?
so my weekend.
While you're living in black rain, scraping, fucking shuffling these kids from practice to practice that you didn't even sign them up for.
Oh, I want him to play. Don't get me wrong.
She's going to be busy downtown slinging pussy like a savage with her crazy friends
So
on your dime.
So tomorrow night, it's me.
Not on my watch.
It's me and the kids tomorrow night.
I'm just kidding.
Then Saturday, guess who it is with the kids? It's me with the kids all day at soccer games. Then guess who's got soccer games on Sunday? This guy. So my whole weekend's already full. Just filled up, right? Just like that.
That's
and
no
I'm
good.
thinking to myself, I'm like, self, what do you do for yourself ever? I mean, I go to the gym. I go to jiu-jitsu. I'll do some kayaking.
But those are things that you have to do.
Yeah, but I'll do kayaking with Todd. I'll go fishing with the kids and stuff. But I don't do anything where I've gone anywhere and created any real crazy memories in a long time.
That's
Right?
that's
Have you,
not-
Todd?
You feel like you're treading water.
I have not. Well, no. When I went to my last vacation, I thought was pretty memorable.
It is a shitty feeling though when it's like,
No.
oh, it's Thursday and you know exactly what the fuck's gonna happen
Yeah.
until Sunday night.
And I'm not talking
Maybe you'll
you
get free
went
time to jerk
on
off.
vacation with the family, where you went out with your friends and created some new memories.
I think I do it here every Thursday.
You know what? He might be onto something. But then I was thinking,
It's kind of our staycation.
like, how well Like I'm thinking, I'm like, when has Bullet had his last thing where he went away for a while or Todd went away for a while, and then you start thinking like, how well do I know these motherfuckers?
Probably not well.
Probably not well. So I found a list. It's a have you ever list,
You are the king of lists.
and it's also
It's Ryan Seacrest.
it's also
Is that what Ryan Seacrest does?
it's a
Besides sucking?
21 questions to get to know other people, right? So
Oh boy.
I'll start. Right? When people meet you, Bullet, what is the one thing that most people think about you that is absolutely not true?
That I'm not well read.
You know what? He's right.
He's right. I would have thought that.
There's so many times, and a little closer to the mic,
I would have thought that.
or you might have to spin it around maybe.
Yo, better?
A little more?
Better?
There we go.
Better?
There we go.
Hey,
everybody.
that you're not well read. So
Yeah, I look like a caveman. I know.
it took me a while to realize that you might actually know something and that you might have some intelligence.
Yeah.
And this is probably good 2-3 years into knowing you
You're not even joking.
before it revealed itself.
You're not even joking.
No, and you know where it came out? I remember it. We were talking about some books, and you're like, yeah, I just read a book on crows. I'm like, what the fuck is this motherfucker talking about? And you proceeded to pontificate about the book for probably a good half hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, wow, this guy reads. And then every week you're throwing something out. And I'm still trying to figure out how you have time to do it.
Well, I'll do a plug real fast.
Plug it. Is this for the bass guitar thing?
No, there's this
Is this a wrestling app?
There's this awesome app called the Great Courses Plus.
Oh.
And what happens is you go in there, they have all these. These are the newest courses: History of Spain, Food Science and the Human Body, Children's Guide to Folklore and Wonder Tales, Mystery of the Microscopic World, Physics in Your Life, etc.
Give me 2 that you've done recently.
The Apocryphal Jesus, just the
Short version.
the books that are not in the canon of the New Testament, and just seeing the relation, how they shape those official stories. Some of the differences, and just, in addition, there is 24 30-minute lectures in high def that you can get on your Apple TV or Roku.
What's the
or
second
your
one
phone.
you've read or listened to?
The 30 greatest pieces of classical literature. But it's really good because you can download the PDF for the books. They're about 240 pages, and it's just interesting stuff, and they're bite-sized, 30 minutes. Maybe I'm taking my lunch break in my van.
So that's how you're doing it.
Well,
You have to
besides
pay for
reading,
these?
it's $20 a month, and it's totally worth it for me.
So he does it 30 minutes at a time.
Damn.
No,
So I'm thinking he's sitting down reading these whole books.
No, this is recent. I've only had this for 2 weeks. Before that, I would just read. I would download.
You'd
a
go
lot of
old
books.
school reading.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I like this though.
No, I like it.
It's interactive.
Have you seen the ones that are advertised on Facebook everywhere and Instagram with like the famous people like what's his Mamet is what's his name? He's a director or writer. Teaches you how to act. And then
Oh
there's,
yeah, and they'll have one for Scorsese, and they have one for Steve Martin.
yeah.
The master classes.
I thought about trying that.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey does one.
Yeah, they all have different ones.
That's interesting. I would do one.
Yeah, so I never thought that you were well read until you proved to me that you were well read. And I guess we can ask this question to both people while we're sitting here. And what's the one about you, Todd?
Probably that I'm much more confident than I am.
Really?
Yes,
Are you not a confident guy?
I am. I can stand in front of I can get over the anxiety of what I'm about to do fairly quickly.
Why do you look at me?
Well, because you have anxiety.
Why do you look
So-
at me when?
So I may have to do something at work where I'm gonna have 30 or 40 people in there, and
Do you get anxious
I
before
look-
you do that?
I look like I'm cool. As a
I think
cucumber.
everybody goes through that.
Yeah, but I get a lot of people come up to me and go, "How do you do?" I'm like,
I just shit myself right before before I did this.
so.
So Bull, you can ask a question. It doesn't. It can be from
Well,
any
hold
one of
on.
these lists.
How about you?
It's not for me. The other person asked the questions of the other two, and I'll answer it. Most people, after talking to me for about 5-6 minutes, because it takes that long, they're like, "I thought you were going to be a dickhead."
Have you ever dated someone from another race, culture, or religion?
And then 10 minutes later, they realize
Does Asian count?
that would be.
Is that a serious fucking question?
Yes.
Does Asian count?
Yes. Does it?
Yes.
Then no, I have not. I have never done that.
You've only gone white bread?
I don't think I've ever had. Actually, I was at a bar one time and a black girl hit on me. I was like, "Oh, cool, black girl."
You've never had chocolate?
Never had chocolate.
You don't have a sweet tooth?
Don't have a sweet tooth.
Caramel?
And no, nothing.
Man, you're boring.
And no, what? I was at a bar and this black girl started talking to me. I'm like, "Man, this chick's really into me. I might actually kiss a black girl." And turns
Wow,
out,
holy shit, Donald Trump.
turns out she was a hooker. So I didn't get to follow through and taste the chocolate.
No for me.
What?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just
Jesus Christ.
it was never
Hold on.
intentional.
Let's keep in mind. I've been married for 20 years.
I have kissed an Asian girl though, or a Chinese girl. I don't know what she was, but never
She's
dated.
Oriental.
Never dated.
She was Oriental.
She was Oriental.
Do you only like the white girls?
No,
Like,
not at all.
Probably half his porn is interracial.
okay.
See his face?
Okay.
He didn't say no either.
Well, he didn't deny it. You know, we all go through our phases. You know, some people go through like musical phases. Like, I'm really in a jazz phase.
So,
Like, my friends are all like, well, I'm in a real babysitter porn type mood, or I'm in a real interracial mood. So that's cool. I dig it. All right.
I should have printed out some more of these questions, and maybe you and I will share that page, Bullet.
What?
I'm going to throw that to Todd. Oh, went right to you. Can I see the other sheet, the one that you had a second ago?
Yeah, ask
Yeah.
away.
So it's Todd's turn to ask a question. And he's probably got to
People are
look at the
getting
list.
to know us. I'm sure there's probably questions on the YouTube chat, too, so you might want to consult that.
Ask your question first, Todd.
Oh, this is pretty good. Is it okay to sacrifice? It's a two-part question, so answer the first one. Then we'll come
Who's
back to
answering first? Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it okay to sacrifice one life to save 10?
Yes.
Bullet?
I believe it was Spock who answered that question in Star Trek 2 when he said the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one.
Okay.
Okay.
Second part
Here's
of
the
that.
second part.
If you said yes, would you change your answer if the one life was a friend's life and the 10 were strangers?
Yes.
Yes.
You would still save the 10.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't.
You
Fuck 'em.
wouldn't?
No.
If you don't know them?
No.
What if it's your friend had a pretty good life, right?
Doesn't matter.
And the people you're saving could be 2 families of 5.
No, the only way that I would choose the 10 strangers is if they're
They're
10
kids.
10 babies.
10 kids.
10 kids,
10
10
kids
babies.
might change my mind.
10 children?
Yeah.
10 adults? No.
10 adults, no. Fuck them.
Yeah. If let's say it's an apocalyptic type situation.
You're in the Green Parrot and there's 10 people and you go, oh, I can either save those 10 guys.
Well,
or
let's
me.
say I'm out somewhere. You and I are out somewhere, and some dude comes in with a gun, right? I don't have a gun. I see the guy with a gun, and I can, and he's too far for me to get near anyway.
I thought you got 2 guns on you at all times.
Boom.
Boom.
So if it's Todd and I, and we're across the room, or I have to run across the room, potentially get killed in the process to save the other people, I don't know. But if it's an option, I would probably want you guys to let me die.
You're a clown.
Yeah. No, nothing.
I think you would say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but
When
your
it's
eyes-
happening, I'm
but
like,
your
Todd,
eyes-
no.
Your eyes would be like,
Bullet, no.
Look, let me tell you something. I don't wear a white hat. Let me tell you. If they're unless they're 10 kids or 10 babies, sorry. Not sorry. I'm saving my friend. That's just all there is to it.
So the answer is you would not sacrifice the one person.
I would sacrifice one person's life to save 10 unless that one person was a close friend.
to kind of go on that. Does you ever watch like Black Hawk Down? Does it ever irritate you that they lose like 10 guys
One of the guys we
to
went to
save
high,
the win?
one
Yeah.
of the guys we went to high school with was in Black Hawk Town.
The movie.
Down, yeah.
The football player, right?
Phil Lepre, he was actually over there, and one of the guys in the helicopter that went down. That's all I know about him, though.
It's a good thing to know, though.
He's still alive, too. I know this one for Todd, but I'll ask it anyway. Bullet, have you ever eaten
What?
frog legs?
Look who's in the middle.
Is it?
Oh,
Oh,
Toddy.
look at Todd's on
Making his
camera.
first on-camera appearance.
first. Not the first, but
Are you going to answer the question?
What was
Have you ever eaten frog legs?
yes, I have.
Fuck no.
Todd actually took a girl out on a date for frog legs back in high school.
Maybe.
Or not high school. Sometime?
Yeah, we did.
You're not going to get in trouble. Why are you making a face for?
Wow.
You would-
Look at him
It's not
squirming.
a good story. It's not a good story. So we're gonna skip.
So, Bull, you can
No.
Ask him questions.
Not in
So
the
the,
frog legs at all.
have you had them?
No, I don't like them.
No, I never have.
In fact,
I've had some weird foods, but I've never had that.
Vacation, I had gator.
Yeah,
the
I
first
used to,
time.
when I lived in Florida, I used to alligator all the time. Even when I lived in Maryland, Janice's restaurant had alligator on the appetizers.
I can't say
Eat
like
the
I would.
shit out of
I
it.
can't say I would pick it over chicken,
It's good though.
but it's cool to say that I ate it.
Yeah, I would fucking eat that all day, just because of what it is. I don't know why. It just seems like something I should do. And Todd, you can pick another question while Bull's.
Have you ever dated someone who didn't like you? I know you married somebody who didn't like you.
That couldn't be any more true.
Well, I think anybody I've ever dated at some point eventually comes to the conclusion that they don't like me. So I would have to say yeah with that.
And my kind of thing, I like to not break up with the girl.
Get them to do it to you?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a standard guy move.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's like part of that's like fucking white belt shit right there.
Chris just likes breaking hearts.
Yeah. That's all I do.
Really?
Mostly mine.
Yeah, I was about to say, really?
Todd, do you have a question prepared? He does not have a question prepared.
All right, which movie or book do you think is ridiculously overrated?
Which movie or book is ridiculously overrated?
And we'll throw show in there since me and Bullet kind of had a talk about this before the
Well,
show.
this is not a question for you because it's your turn to answer the
But I
question.
get the answer at the end, right?
I'll let Bullet answer first because it sounds like he might have one in the holster already. Does he?
I don't have one in the holster.
Book or show that's overrated?
Movie?
And it could be maybe a book to movie adaptation?
Book, movie, or show that I think is overrated. I think The Walking Dead is very overrated.
I used to like that show.
I did.
Turn the mics off.
No, I'm sorry. It's fucking depressing. It's the same shit.
There's some shows that I not necessarily.
I was super excited about it. I remember talking to Todd about it. We were both excited. We were, oh man, I'm so excited. And the first episode comes and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, okay, you know what? David Lynch is fucking weird. Maybe something will happen and it'll be another episode. And then the second one was worse. And then I remember like the fourth or fifth one was like, oh, that wasn't bad. Finally.
Yep.
They're showing some of the characters and it was completely horrible overacting. Like when the one dude saw the picture of Laura Palmer and he just starts breaking down and crying. I'm like, okay, this is good. This is what I want.
Boyfriend.
But it got to the point where I said, fuck it. I'm done. I can't do it. It's so bad.
I had just invested so much time.
I couldn't do it. I said, fuck it.
Yeah, you told me how wonderful it was going to be.
It was.
And like 2 episodes in, I was like, I can't watch this.
Did it make any sense?
No. Out of 18 episodes, there was probably 3 that were good and watchable.
I came in watching it not having watched any of the previous stuff.
Only watched the first season
which
and a half.
made
and
it even
stopped
more
watching
difficult.
It. Seriously, pretend it's kind of like Godfather 3. Pretend it didn't happen. Pretend the second half of the second season and everything after that.
Oh, somebody said Twilight was overrated. I actually
Twilight?
thought they were actually good.
Like the
movies.
Twilight Zone? Oh yeah, those movies are horrible. Are you serious?
But they were.
You know why his wife likes the movies? So probably every time they've watched that movie, he's probably gotten some action. So that's why he likes the movie. Just horrible acting. What is it? Pattinson? What's the dude's name?
You're right. Pattinson.
What's his first name? Just a fucking horrible actor. He's the Keanu Reeves of the 2000s. Although I do love Keanu.
Keanu Reeves. Stop it.
And Keanu's supposed to do another Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right?
Some things are meant to just do one.
You know what? I would watch it again because that other dude's still alive too. Like
you saying that you like the Twilight movies?
I didn't say I liked it. I didn't say they were overrated. I didn't think they were overrated.
You said
the
you
mic,
liked
please.
them.
I didn't think they were overrated.
You basically
Did
saying
I say
that?
I liked them?
Yes.
You said you liked them.
You said you liked them. You might as well have just said that you like kid porn because that's what that's akin to.
That's just horrible movies. Like there's nothing good about them at all.
I'm hearing 50 Shades of Grey and 50
I don't
Shades
watch
Dark.
mom porn.
Which one's the second one?
Darker.
Yeah,
50
that one
Shades
was
Darker.
horrible. The first one was okay, I guess. I didn't say I liked it. I got some action that night. So that makes it a good movie.
Oh, wow.
If we're going with Todd's system of movie ratings, then
And that was a fantastic.
it's a fantastic movie if Todd is willing to put himself through it, and at the end, maybe get a handy, maybe get some blowy action. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
That's what I'm just saying. Here's one for you guys. What don't they teach in high school that you wish they did? Because I got a whole, I can think of stuff right out, and I'll put this out there.
How to balance a checkbook.
Life skills. Right?
How to balance a checkbook. How to do laundry.
How to cook.
How to food shop.
Well, they do have cooking classes. They do have.
I did
They
take
do
it.
have home economics classes.
Right, but there's not like life skills, like how to deal with stuff. Shit like that,
How
right?
to change a tire.
How to change a tire. How to use a power drill. I guess that's shop.
Just I could see where you're like, hey, you're going to be a grown up and have all of this stuff in your house.
Right. Well, what's the
Here's-
first thing Colin did when he came home every time from college? What did he bring with him?
Clothes.
Laundry. Right?
Yeah.
And actually seeing him write a check is
That's what I mean.
beautiful.
Right.
It's pretty funny.
But I don't remember being taught how to write a check either.
I
That's
learned
what I'm saying.
I think the difference was that when we were growing up, checks were all you had.
Yeah, you had
So
to.
I had to write a
You
check.
watched your parents write a check.
There was no, I'm going to buy
I
something
think
with a
it would
credit
be
card.
nice also for schools to teach kids common fucking sense. Like, you have no internet connection. This is how you read 'em.
Interact with people.
This is how you... Oh, okay, that's a good one. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm perfectly capable of faking human interaction and emotion. Watch this.
Right, but nobody
hey, how are you
talks.
doing? What?
Oh, great. Thanks for asking.
Oh, okay. Hey, I'm good, guys.
Hey, guy.
But there should be certain things like cooking, how to take care of yourself
How to make
in general.
3 classy mixed drinks.
That should be in there.
I'm more of a tech guy, so my thing would be understanding how to search for things and figure out what the actual real stuff is.
Here's one: how to ride a train and get from A to B. His son got took the train for the first time last week at SEPTA.
Oh, that must have been
Wasn't
got
the
lost.
first,
funny
but-
shit.
But here's the thing: the first time I took the train, I went down to the Navy offices and I took the ASVAB test and got on a train and came home. Totally took the wrong train. This is before cell phones. Got stuck in Fox Chase. Called my dad.
I have no sympathy for that.
No, but I'm saying I had no idea.
Wilson Hayes, when he didn't speak a goddamn lick of English, managed to navigate the Philadelphia train system
And I bet-
with
did he
no
have a
problem.
Cell
But I
phone
bet-
that could translate
He
for him.
didn't. No.
And I bet at home, that's all he takes.
Yeah. Do you know of him driving when he lived in Brazil?
I will never get in a car that Wilson's driving, ever. I did it once. That's enough.
But there's a certain number of life skills that should be shared with
I
people
love
before
him. I'm just saying.
before they graduate and leave home. And it's I guess it's partially responsibility of the parents at the same time. But you know, how to cook, how to balance a checkbook, how to do basic shit. What's your question, Ty?
I like this one. You have $100 to burn. All your friends are busy, and you have the whole day to yourself. What do?
I'll tell you right now what I do. Tell you right now what I do.
That's 2 dead hookers in Bullet's book.
No, I'll tell you right now what I do.
Oh, he's got the $100. So
It's
they're both gonna stay alive.
I go buy he's gonna buy some new bass strings.
No, I'll tell you right now what I'm
His
going to do.
Deladerio bass strings.
What I would do is, I would make myself a great breakfast, and I would have a good shower, and I would pregame. I'd have a couple drinks in the shower.
You haven't spent a penny yet.
I know.
Okay, I'm just clarifying.
I've never had a drink in the shower. It must be an interesting thing.
It's awesome.
We should all do it before next
the
episode.
juxtaposition of the ice cold drink with the really hot water is amazing.
It's
Any-
amazing.
You guys are using big words today.
Anyway, what I would then do is I would take an Uber or a cab to the movie theater.
Okay. After drinking, so
Yeah.
Uber's what, $16?
Well, whatever. I mean,
Oh no, we're trying to break down the $100.
okay, $16. Okay,
All right, so
$16.
You have $84.
Then what I
left.
do is I get tickets to the movies, and
$12?
I would do about an hour, maybe about. I would go to the movie theater. I would have a couple drinks at the movie theater, maybe some popcorn. Nothing a lot.
So you're like $50 in now.
Okay, hold on now.
Okay.
Then what I do is the movie lets out. I walk right down into the strip mall to the Chinese place.
I knew you were gonna
and
go
have
there.
a big ass Chinese food dinner. Then take the Uber home, and then sit on my couch.
I'm not gonna lie.
And good.
My day was similar to yours when I was thinking about my $100
And my phone would be off
the entire day.
the entire time. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
So I get up, I roll out of bed, I see that the entire house is asleep, and they could give a shit that I'm the only one awake. I go to breakfast, right? I get 3 eggs, over easy, some sausage, some white toast. I get in the car, I drive to the movie theater, I get my pretzel bites. Has anybody been to Chamonix Theater lately?
Yes.
They fucking changed the size of the pretzel bites. Did you notice that?
I tell you what they.
Fucking bullshit. It's the
Are they
same
smaller-
price. Yeah, it's
smaller or
smaller.
bigger? Oh, smaller portion?
Yeah, it's in a cardboard box now. It's like half the size.
I tell you what they.
Same price.
I tell you what they did do is they've got that one movie theater in there now.
The IMAX. Or not the IMAX, the Dolby
The
one.
Dolby one where your
Dude.
fucking seats shake.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh, it's
So,
amazing.
I'm going to the Dolby one. I get some pretzel bites, some milk dudes, and some fucking soda. I go in there and I watch it. Come out. I go take a nap in my car, then I go get lunch somewhere. And I chill out, and I come home and act like nothing happened.
See, it's very similar, except for the fact that I'm gonna not hide in my car like a fucking transient.
I'm not hiding. I'm napping. You live by yourself, so you could sit in your house. I have 5 other.
Yeah, but we'll go with the
fair
assumption
play.
nobody's here.
Fair play.
Nobody's here.
Fair play.
Okay.
So would you come home to nap, or would you still?
No,
If nobody's here,
no,
yeah.
you gotta take advantage of being out and about in the wilderness.
Yeah, I might just walk around Best Buy or something. I
I-
do that on so many occasions.
That's a good time. Just
Yeah.
cruise
I think I
around
would
and
buy
look
a
at
new
shit you're never
game.
gonna buy.
Yeah.
A new game.
Just play it all day?
Just play it all day.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too. But it's got to be a good game.
Because I almost picked up
Destiny
the
2?
No, the new the last Resident Evil.
So I would play that.
Yeah.
We're
Biohazard,
No, there's
it's
another one after that.
Revelation Zero.
Speaking of games, we played a little GTA action
We
last
tried.
night, which
We
Bullet, for some
tried.
reason, couldn't figure out how to connect.
I checked. I checked on Twitter. There was
There
PlayStation.
was PlayStation.
There
but
was
him and
tons
I-
of them because they were
we wound
all
up-
doing. Is there a problem with my connections? There was all
we
kinds
we
of,
played till probably midnight, and it just turned into Todd just running me over every time
yeah.
with his car.
It's all the things I've wanted to do in real life.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a guest on the show. We're supposed to get Diana.
I don't know if we got any
Carabas.
messages back from her.
I
yet.
didn't get any messages from her. So if she gets back to us, we'll have her FaceTime in. If not, we'll just
Yeah, we'll just
talk
keep
about
plugging
some other
along.
stuff, plugging along.
So, what are the? Have you ever been mugged?
Yes,
You have been mugged?
yeah.
Oh, look at him.
Let's hear about it. Are you gonna cry?
It actually, look at he
He's-
get all
he's
squirrely.
getting a little
No, I think
emotional.
it's squirrely. It was Halloween night. I was a kid, and I got jumped by like 6 kids, and they beat the shit out of me with fucking.
Did they take your candy?
Yeah,
I
Would you,
remember.
would you call that a mugging, or is
It's-
that more of just like
it's
a,
more
when
of
you're
a-
getting beaten with a fucking with fucking.
And you were alone?
with a
a
pipe.
prank? A pipe?
No, I was with people, and they ran.
What if you actually turned out that it was your people you were with?
No.
They just turned on.
That's all right because a year later I saw the kid in junior high school and literally dented his locker with his fucking head.
And you were bigger than him then.
Yeah, puberty drop kicked me, and it was just like, oh, I'm fucking. You know, it's kind of like in video games when you get the power up, you're like, ring, ring, ring. I'm gonna fuck some shit up now.
I've never been mugged.
Got him,
Neither
and it
have
was
I.
one of those things where I palmed the back of his head and was just like, bang, like right into a turnbuckle. Dented his fucking locker.
And it was just one kid that beat you up, or was it?
No, it was like 6 kids. It was like
and
6 kids.
This was the main guy in
I
charge.
remember him, yeah, because he was talking all
You
kinds
picked
of
him out
shit.
of the lineup. The ocular patted him down, and like
Yeah.
that's the dude.
Well, he was the smallest out of all of them, and I remembered it, so I wasn't fucking with the biggest.
Have you ever felt like you were going to be mugged? Have you? In my
No.
own head.
Yeah.
I've walked down a
I remember-
street or something. Went.
Yeah, like a
Alright.
couple years back, I was in the city, and it was just like, I think I'm gonna get mugged.
I've never
walked
felt
under
like
the-
that.
I've walked under the L at like 1:30, 2 o'clock.
But here's the funny part.
I got this weird thing where I
It's
look
probably
at.
perfectly safe.
I do something you guys probably don't do. Is I look at every person in the eye when I walk by them.
I don't avoid it.
Yeah, I
I
know
don't
what you
avoid
mean.
it.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like if Todd and I are walking, I don't know Todd. I'm like, hey, what's up?
I don't avoid it.
Just to let them know I'm aware that they're there.
I carry a loaded .45 handgun with an extra clip, and it will punch holes in their chest.
Actually, you know what? One time when I was in Baltimore, I was in a bad section, and what I did.
yeah, it's called Baltimore.
Yeah, Harm City. I took out my cell phone and I put the selfie on, like the video,
So you could look behind
so
it.
I could look behind me while I was walking straight.
Oh.
Huh? So people out there, that's a good safety tip for you. That's your
Now-
Coming At You podcast safety tip.
Now, when I was walking down at
your
under the
surroundings.
L,
Know your
at 1:30,
surroundings.
Into the mic, please.
had a Tommy Hilfiger jacket on.
Let me wear expensive clothes. Did you have like brand new Nikes
had a,
on?
Was it the big
backpack
blue
from
one with the
work.
red and white on it?
It was all white. This white sleeves.
Oh, with
Oh,
the blue
come
fucking
on,
with the blue
Todd.
cuffs and shit.
It was horrible. Yep, I swear I
Looked
but
like Vanilla Ice.
same thing. Instead, if I saw a block ahead that there was a bunch of people at the corner, I didn't switch sides.
You know
Just
what
walk
though?
straight
I tell
for
you
'em.
what, and I'm not trying to make jokes. When you're rocking a lot of tattoos,
People just assume.
They just assume that you're going to be doing a mugging.
no. What I'm saying is, if you're walking into a street and you don't know you have your rocking tattoos, they probably figure like this dude's like down for some thuggery, so we'll leave him alone.
Have you ever been inside of a police car?
Yes, with Brad Daddis.
I have as well.
With Brad
Todd?
Daddis,
No.
and he
No,
could tell you that.
Todd has not. Have you ever met somebody with 6 fingers? I've never met somebody who has 6 fingers, but a dude I used to train jiu-jitsu with had webbed toes, which I thought was odd.
Well, we talked about it last week.
He was a very good swimmer.
Did he
That-
smell like cabbage?
No.
I've met people with
Actually,
missing fingers.
My mother-in-law, yeah, I've had people with missing fingers. My mother-in-law's adoptive dad had the lobster syndrome with the hands. with like the big claws, like just 2 big claws on each side. That's crazy.
From like American Horror Story.
Yeah.
The, Crab Kid.
Yeah, yeah. Like he was her adopted dad. Like sound like he's a real great guy, but he had the
Except for
the lobster.
What
hand.
is the what is the TLDR version of your life? What the fuck is
I don't
that?
know. I don't know. You can't answer that question if you don't know what it is. Pass. I pass. Can you cook, Todd? Or Bullet?
I cook every day.
Yeah, I cook all the
Why do
time.
you cook every day?
It's, the wife's not very good at cooking.
Tell Bullet, did you hear that?
Oh, here's a good one.
Did you hear his answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. When my dad gave his wife a frying pan for her birthday one time.
No, it wasn't her birthday.
Or
This is going to be a good
It was some sort of holiday, and my dad said, "Sorry, it doesn't come with instructions," or some shit like that.
If you could be born again and choose what nationality, gender, and race to be, what would you choose and why?
Do I get to live where I'm?
Where your national? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's say you can live where your nationality is.
I would like to have lived and grown up in Italy.
Oh, you got a little bit of the
do.
Italian in you.
I do.
Guy or girl?
Oh, guy.
Yeah, I would be a guy no matter what. And no offense to the ladies, I know what I'm working with when I'm a guy. You know.
Now, hold on. Do I know everything I know now, and then I'm a girl?
Jesus Christ, just answer the goddamn question.
That would be different.
See, I wouldn't. I would stay the same everything, except I would make myself taller. I would change that.
So you wish you were taller?
I wish I was a baller.
Wish you had a rabbit with a bat and a hat?
If I could be born again and choose what nationality, gender, and race to be, what would you choose and why? I would like to be...
That's a great answer.
Hold on, I'm thinking here. This is a big fucking choice right here.
Big universe, Chris.
I would like to be... Oh, man. Well, I'd rather be American because this way, at least I wouldn't be subject to their foreign policies. No, that's not true.
Now, why don't we identify ourselves as that's our nationality? Like, because it's people that still live here say, "Oh, I'm Irish."
No,
or
you know what?
Whatever.
I would love to be something in Europe because I just feel like
I think you would be a good French guy with a beret
No shit.
and a fucking huge stash.
just call me Rene Beret.
Je suis le pamplemousse. I am the grapefruit.
I would like to be a 7-foot French man. That way I could carry on the tradition of
There's
Andre
a
the
point
Giant.
that too tall is
Yeah,
not any good.
yeah.
I don't care because you see, it would
You hit-
force me out of my shell.
Yeah.
You die early.
Mongolian maybe would be good for you.
Well, I already am part Mongolian.
Actually, do you know Chris Hawley, Todd?
I do.
He
I love how you ask me a question and you don't even give me a chance to fucking answer and you just next.
I didn't.
No, I switched.
He switched.
But I have a friend who always thought he was part Chinese, and he did one of those blood tests lately, and he found out he was Mongolian like 2 months ago.
Same thing though. The Mongols
I understand
fucking
that.
ran
I see
wild.
it now.
Yeah,
over China.
yeah. When you see it, you look at him,
It's been there the whole time.
and it's been there the whole fucking time.
Great. You know, they basically owned the Silk Road.
Have you ever been on radio, television, or a movie?
Yes, I've
Not
been
including this show.
I've been on radio. I've been on television, and I've never been in a
Well,
do
elaborate.
Porns, do porns count?
They do count.
Okay,
Not
then
private
yes,
ones.
yes to all three. No, so
If it was for public consumption.
Drop that.
What TV show were you on?
I was on Ring of Honor.
Sitting in the fans, like in the crowd, does not count.
You didn't qualify, dickhead. Was I on television? Yes, I was on Ring of Honor television.
Seriously, no. Were you? Did you have any kind of a role?
Yeah, I was in the crowd. That's my role.
I was fan number 1.
I've been on the radio several times with my bands throughout my musical
Which
career.
radio were you on?
94.
YSP.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then movies. I mean, fucking.
Besides,
might as well talk
what's the
about it.
name of the porn? So fans can watch.
Well, it wasn't. It was for a website. It was for a private website. Not private, but it was for a website for somebody.
What was the name of the video?
I'm not saying.
Just say it.
No.
Why?
I did like 3 of them.
Did you do well?
I mean, they asked me back 2 more times, so I'm assuming.
Put it out there.
No.
Why?
Because.
Why?
Because.
Why?
I'm just saying I did it. I don't need to prove it.
I was in Ladder 49, the movie.
Oh yeah, you were telling me you're an extra.
I was an extra. I was.
What was your role?
I was funeral scene. I was drinker number 5.
Well, what was your role?
Drinker number 5.
What was the motivation for your character?
I was a drinker, and I was number 5. I was also in funeral scene.
Yeah, that was a wild time, man.
Our one brother, he was on. Remember Dancing on Air? It was like the white version of Soul Train, I guess, from
It was
Philly,
Philadelphia based.
like out of the 80s. So
Yeah, he
our,
was on it a couple times.
yeah, our one brother was on Dancing on Air a bunch
Once
of
in
times.
Six Flags. Once.
You know what? I would like to be a 7-foot Mexican person because
It's just too big.
I love Mexican food, and that way I feel like I could like get away with just a lot of shit and just be like, I'm
There-
hot-blooded,
There's a point where
You know what I mean?
Shit just does not work for you at a certain size.
and be
Hey,
like, I've
like-
got a Latin
where
temper.
everything's.
Yeah, one of the guys I train
Inconvenience.
with, he's gigantic, and he's the nicest dude. He's 6'5",
That's not big.
and he's about 300 pounds.
The Big Show's 7
And
foot.
he was driving a Chevy pickup truck the other day. It was his dad passed away and gave him a truck, and he was like sitting over the steering wheel like this while he's driving. And I'm like, God damn, that's such a big dude. Like, if you hit a certain point, it's just too much. 6'1", 6'2", maybe.
No, I want to be 6. I would know. I would want
Well,
to
you're
be.
already 6 foot, right?
But see, what's great about
Yeah.
if you're smaller,
Yeah.
you can wear kids' clothes. You
Yeah,
still have
Todd
a
wears
ton
kids'
of,
clothes all the time.
ton of options. But if you're tall,
7-foot
Everything.
Mexican guy with a huge donger, and
Do you think Shaq has a giant cock?
I don't wonder about these things, but I would
You
imagine
know.
so.
Well, now that we're talking about it, you ask yourself.
Yeah, I'd
Say
imagine
self.
it probably
ask-
looks like a fucking garden hose.
it may look normal on him, but when you you put it next
Comparatively.
to somebody else,
Yeah,
It's-
it's got to be devastating to whoever's accepting that
Oh
thing.
my god!
I was in a TV commercial.
What commercial were you in?
It was web based, but it was for a home building company.
Oh,
The building that
Actually,
the
you
house
know
that I
what?
bought down in Virginia,
I'm also in a American Red Cross ad.
and I was in the
Was it-
paper for
I was
graduation.
victim 3.
Graduation from high school. I was in the paper. I was on.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you got some stuff.
Got some stuff.
Hey, you're famous.
I-
Todd's Langhorn famous.
You ever tag team a chick?
Nope.
I've been tag teamed by chicks, but I haven't not tag teamed a chick. Never gone double with a buddy, ever. That'll never happen yet.
All right, just asking.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
No, it's just one of those things.
What is a cause that is worth dedicating your life to?
That's a tough one. I was looking at that one on the list earlier. Like, there's so many.
You had some chances.
There's
to-
so many good causes that you could really apply yourself to. Like you see those videos with the little kids that are starving, right? That's a good cause, but the way they distribute the money and everything, not so good. I think if you're an American soldier and you're fighting for freedom,
Definitely the soldiers.
That's a-
100%.
yeah. And thank you to anybody that does that out there. I think people that are doctors, like, I mean, they're dedicating their lives to something. But when I think if I'm dedicating my life to it, I'm gonna die for it, right? Do you feel that way?
Yes.
Yes.
So, if let's say somebody invaded the United States, right? You got your family here. You're gonna protect them. You're not in the military at the time. That's worth dying for, right? You've seen what's that movie, Red
Dawn.
Red Dawn with Patrick Swayze. Like, you're gonna fight to save people you know and do stuff like that. But how about for fighting for people you don't know? Like you see, who are the guys who handle the boats that protect the whales and stuff?
Oh, PETA. Those
No,
guys?
not PETA.
Uh,
PETA's protecting
Fuck PETA.
like just domestic pets. I'm talking about the people that are in the ships, and they put their ship in the way in front of the Japanese whaling ships, and really put themselves in danger for stuff like that. Like, that's a cause that they totally believe in, that they're gonna die for if they have to.
I think this. I think that maybe not dying for a cause. I think too many people get angry and they get worked up over things they hate. I fucking hate that. Like, I hate Donald Trump, and I hate these guys, and I hate that, and rah, and they're going to spend all their energy about that. And then, to a certain degree, yeah.
Do you think any of those people expend the energy on the stuff they like?
Love.
Like, there's
I would
there's got to be
rather-
another group that's the complete opposite.
I would
side.
rather spend and focus my energies on the things I love. My son, music, things like that.
Speaking of sons earlier, right? I think we had the three-way conversation last night. We were playing GTA, or we were in the party room, and Bolt's like, I don't know, I got stuff to do tomorrow. I got to be with my kid. And the first response out of me, I'm like, you just have one. Like,
Yeah, so what?
right, but like him and I are running around like our fucking heads cut off every day.
Well, it's your problem.
But in
Not mine.
but in your reality, your perspective is that you're
Dude, look.
fucking doing, like, you're stressed. And he's a cute little guy, by the way.
Thank you. Rocco is fucking awesome. But you have to understand one thing, and I'm sure this is like this for a lot of people, but I only got me to deal with. I 100% felt like a guy that lied on the job application, and they got the job, and I'm like, oh shit.
That's a shitty
And like
thing too.
you start the job on Monday, and you're there on Friday night with your friends, going, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like they expect me to come into the office and do this shit.
I had a similar situation with my oldest kid. Like I remember her mom and I broke up, and I had my daughter every weekend by myself. And I would drive to Maryland, pick her up, come back, take her home on Sunday, and I would just be fucking clueless for days. And I didn't have any help, you know. And I had basically the same thing.
And it's even worse because the gender is different.
Yeah.
Because at least like with my son, there's stuff I can relate to just as a guy.
Well, I do remember when you'd have her for the weekend. Like you felt like you needed to fill every bit.
Yeah.
Of the weekend
I would just run the whole weekend.
So
yeah.
Got to do this. Got to do this.
And it's funny because now she's older, and I don't think there's any appreciation for any of that shit. like just the amount of effort I went into to do stuff with her.
Kids don't appreciate shit.
No, but that's a huge thing.
Get
and
a punch her right in the mouth when he's here.
Have you ever milked a cow?
No.
Would you? Would you drink milk from a cow's teat?
Absolutely not. I think first of all, the idea of drinking milk from another mammal is ridiculous.
And what's a wet nurse? Like they're the ones who milk, like they provide breast milk to another baby?
No, I thought is that what a wet nurse is?
It goes on to my theory, number one, that human beings are not from this planet.
You think we're the aliens?
Yeah, 100%.
I
gotta
can see
imagine
that.
the first person to think, hey, maybe I can.
We're the only mammals that don't adapt to our environment.
I feel like we've adapted to every environment and taken over. We're the cockroaches of the universe.
No, we don't naturally adapt
to
our environment. And if you think about it, like almost
Episode 197.
every animal that's born can pretty much fend from itself by birth, but human babies are fucking helpless. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
How about a baby kangaroo?
I imagine that
a
little Joey.
They climb
Is
into
that what they're called?
They climb into the womb. They cannot protect themselves.
Yeah, but they got a little pouch of marsupials.
But you think I see where he's going with that. You see like a horse.
Horse gets up and it's like, hey, I'm a horse, motherfucker.
Whoa, hey.
Yeah,
now.
you see a baby. You see a baby deer born. It's instantly up on its feet and ready to go.
Yeah, but I mean, like humans do not adapt to their environment naturally.
Next time one of us has a baby, we should be like, let's go, and just try to get that baby to run right off the spot.
They're not
going to happen.
kneecaps.
Not going to happen.
One thing I heard.
You know what? I heard they're all cartilage.
When
we talked about it last
one thing if you want to really relate us versus animals, you run through the woods at 100 miles an hour, you will come out
fucked up. You will be
over.
Fucked up.
A deer can run that same thing, nothing.
Not even get anything in their eye.
Skin, everything is meant to.
Have you ever eaten a deer?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
We had deer hamburgers like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Venison jerky's really good.
No, these were deer hamburgers.
Deer meat? Yeah.
Deer
Have
meat.
you had bear?
I've had bear.
No.
Bear's
I
pretty
hear it's
good.
real gamey.
My old neighbor in Maryland was a retired SWAT sniper. And he was a big hunter. And he would drop meat off at my house like every day.
Is that like a slang for fucking you in the ass, like on lunch break? Like,
No.
drop some meat off him.
This dude was fucking just crazy. Like, you ever see Ace Ventura 2?
Yeah.
You have a lovely room of death. Like, you go into this dude's house,
that's what it is.
like the railing when you come into his steps.
It's a monument to his masculinity.
it was a monument to every animal that he ever killed.
Oh, I'm not into trophy hunting.
No, I'm not into it either. But this dude would hand me meat all the time. And I'm
I'm into that.
Good shit.
How about like buffalo?
I've eaten buffalo, some Angus. That's the black Angus. That's some good shit. I've had ostrich. Have you had ostrich?
I have ostrich.
I've had alligator. I've had shark. I've had a lot of exotic stuff. Yeah, we should do a cook-off one.
See, you think I don't eat things? I will try everything once.
Not me. I'm a very picky eater. I don't like dairy. I don't eat dairy. I don't drink milk. I don't like cheese.
If Todd gets a cheesesteak hoagie,
nothing.
he gets the cheesesteak hoagie without lettuce, tomato, onions, or cheese.
I get the cheese.
Yeah, he gets the cheese.
I get a tomato pie. I take the cheese off pizza.
He takes everything off
I think
everything that he orders.
That's a bad example.
No, I'm being funny.
I order a burger, and the first thing I do is take off the lettuce. I guess no lettuce.
Put it on the side.
No, he won't eat it at all.
That way I have a degree of control over how much
I don't want
of
it
the
at all.
No, you
accoutrement.
can take it off at any point. It
But
doesn't
I
have
know
to be
I
on
don't
the side.
But I know I don't like tomatoes, and I know I don't like onions.
Right.
Onions and lettuce.
But Todd, I don't like onions and lettuce on their own.
See, I like lettuce on their own.
Onions I do like on their own. But combine them for a particular flavor, that makes perfect sense.
It does.
What are you doing?
Checking to see if I've had any messages.
No, there's no responses. So we'll just wish her luck for her next fight tomorrow.
Good luck, Diana, on your
Good
fight.
luck, Diana.
We were hoping that you would be able to call in,
She
but
may have had a tough day of dieting or
of
whatever.
cutting weight or whatever. So it's all good. We got nothing but love for you anyway.
Absolutely.
We should talk about, though, the upcoming fights this weekend because Wilson's fighting on UFC
Ooh,
215.
Let's talk about some fights. Let's talk about some motherfucking fights. We still have the John Jones issue, right?
Oh, God. He's done.
Is that official?
I
Did
don't
the
know if
second
it's
test come
official
back
yet.
No.
I haven't seen anything on it.
They haven't stripped them yet.
Hold on real quick before we start. Does any of us feel like we know each other better after that?
No.
I don't feel like Todd I know, but I still don't know him. You know what I'm saying? He's an enigma.
I feel the more you guys know about me is probably not the better.
That is true.
For Todd. Like, I know plenty about you.
Todd got
Like,
freaked out.
there
by
was some sharing
stuff.
last week, and Todd
Yeah.
was a little bit traumatized.
Well, Todd got freaked out because, he thinks very binary when it comes to sexuality. He's like,
No, I don't.
He does.
Not at all.
Look how
Not
defensive
at
he's
all.
getting.
Hi, Todd, are you okay?
Actually, not at all.
Look how defensive he's getting.
Not at all.
Have you ever had sex with a man?
No.
Have you ever? Oh, he already said it. No, I'm not like that.
He giggled at the end
He
of
did.
You asked me if I had any.
Why get into defense? You can't even talk.
Any
Look
other?
out, listen
any
to the
other
symbol.
race?
it. He's turning all red, too.
Good thing I'm off camera.
Have
What's
you had a black man?
wrong, Toddy?
You didn't ask that question.
Yeah, you've only had white people. You never had sex with them. What about a tranny?
No.
Oh, look at this guy.
I've been married for 20 years.
That's true. He has
likely
been married
story.
for 20 years.
Likely story.
He did have a tranny in 9th grade, though.
But I didn't know it.
So the fights this weekend.
What do you do at that point?
There's not a lot of hype for the week. For what?
You need to take a girl home and you find out she's got some.
Oh, you call it a day.
Really?
Yeah.
But if
You
you already
phone it
paid,
in?
Yeah. Like, hey, listen, you're really nice. I think you're great. Nice cock. But we're going to call it a day.
really?
Yeah, absolutely.
You spent money.
No, I've never spent money.
You-
Actually, I did spend money one time. I was with a friend. We went down to some place that was with the triads.
Yeah, and
Hold on.
you bought a $50,000 car.
Hold on. No. We went to a place on, it was the Locust Street Club. We went in there. It was a bunch of triads and a bunch of Asian ladies. And turns out it was a bad experience. But there was no trannies in the group.
I'm saying you find a girl, beautiful, gorgeous, takes you up to your room. And she's like, I'm going to work on your stuff. And you reach down and she's got a dong.
That's it. Party's over.
You wouldn't let it just finish. You wouldn't
No.
let it play out.
No.
Why?
That's not what I'm into. You let it finish?
Would I let her finish? Why not?
Okay. Have you intentionally gone looking for one of those? Ever?
On Craigslist?
I'm
I just love you're like, what?
going to guess that's where you went and found it on Craigslist. Is this where you clam up?
I'm not claiming up at all.
It feels like you're about to clam up.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
But no. If it got to that point and I realized that shit's not as advertised, I'd be like, all right, party's over.
So you're saying false advertisement.
False advertising, I want my money back.
You're saying, you wanted a steak and you got chicken.
Yes. I wanted meat
Oh, so you wanted meat.
meat taco and I got a meat roll. I'm going to return the meat roll. I'm going to take it back and ask for my money back. Todd?
Oh, we know what Todd's going to do.
Todd's going to be angry and probably beat the person
Todd's
with a stick.
idea of dirty sex is not washing his hands before he jerks off.
Like, but Todd and I are,
This guy,
Todd
he's
and I
so
are the
fucking
same way
straight-laced.
with stuff. Like if I'm friends with somebody and they tell me that they're into some weird shit, right?
Yeah?
I don't care. It doesn't bother me in
As
any
long as
way.
that weird stuff is not, I kill people.
But
Yeah.
what do you classify as weird shit?
That's an interesting question.
Just
You kind of
different from the norm.
into that one.
Right? Like to give you an idea, like I used to work for Sherwin-Williams, and I traveled as sales rep one time. First day traveling, I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's got some flamboyancy about him, right? And he just tells me he had a trip to New Hope, Pennsylvania with his buddies, and I'm like, okay, like I'm from near there, so I have an idea what's going on. And don't worry about the time. It's not even a watch.
No, I'm scratching
And
my wrist.
so he's telling me about it, and then like 5 months later, we're at like a work event, and he's like, just to let you know, I'm gay. I'm like, dude, the whole world knows.
Worst kept secret.
Nobody cares. And he's like, you're not upset about it? I'm like, dude, you're a nice guy. I could give a shit.
Yeah, who cares?
Doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Yeah.
But if I'm looking to get some action, and I reach down there and there's some plumbing that shouldn't be there, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
Right?
you know,
Todd, you done?
I'm done. Look, there's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, you're going to do whatever you're going to do.
Hey, I'd go to any party and be happy.
But what we're saying here is there's some fights this weekend.
There's some fights this weekend. That was
Right.
a good segue.
Yeah. I'm a segue guy. I'm kind of a segueer.
I haven't butchered anybody's name in a while.
Basically, look,
Todd's a
here's
butcher.
the deal. UFC 215 is on pay-per-view. I'm going to be honest with you, world. Can we get a camera on me here?
You don't care.
Camera. Where are we at?
That's right over there.
Which one are we at? Point to the camera.
Well, it's got a good view of me, so we might want to leave that one on.
This one right there, my man.
I don't give a shit about the pay-per-view. The only thing I give a fuck, and I'm going to urge all the viewers, is watch the prelims live on Fox or FX, whichever one they're at. Wilson Hayes versus Henry Cejudo. Wilson is going to start his campaign for the flyweight title again.
What rank is Henry Cejudo right now?
Number 1 or 2.
What's Wilson?
Probably 5. Probably in the
Is
top
he
5.
dropped to 5 from number 1?
He never went up to number 1.
Or he was number 3 at the time?
Maybe. I mean, look, in any order you could say, obviously you've got Demetrius Johnson as a champion who's also fighting on there against Ray Borg. But you've got, I imagine, Benavidez, Cejudo.
How many shots has Benavidez had, though?
2, and so has, I believe, Cejudo has that.
But you know what's weird? Like, UFC 215 it's actually a great card.
Unfortunately, it's lost in the shuffle.
It's the main event that nobody gives a fuck about.
You know,
And it's weird because Demetrius Johnson's about to break a record, maybe like a major record.
I believe Demetrius Johnson will be a guy that people appreciate once he's gone, and it's gonna
they're gonna look back and like, I saw this dude fight
literally
a million
be
times.
a thing of you don't know what you have until it's gone.
I think to a casual fan, maybe, but I think anybody who actually watches this, he's amazing to
He's
watch.
totally amazing, but the
Every
fact
time you think maybe,
Well,
and you're
here's the
like,
thing:
wow.
he's so outclasses anybody he fights, is that it almost seems like it's just like it's not an actual fight. You know what I'm saying? What are you shaking your head for? Has there been anybody that caused him grief, like in game real time, except for Dominic Cruz in a different weight class?
Hope you're listening, Wilson.
No, it's not a knock on Wilson. It's a compliment on Demetrius.
Brown belt for life.
This guy
B,
likes trannies.
I didn't say I like trannies. I'm just saying, look, I'm lazy. I'm not going to kick her out of the room. Just
trainees for life.
TL for life.
hey, you look. If she's got a dong, she probably knows how to work it.
But here's the thing: Demetrius is
I'm
so,
practical.
like it's kind of like you look at Ronda Rousey now. Like she just tore up her division.
Ronda Rousey just recently made an appearance on the WWE Network's Mae Young Classic, where her and her friends, her compatriots, the 4 horsewomen, if you will, have challenged the 4 horsewomen of the WWE. That being
Now, are you saying whores women like
No.
WHOR?
Ronda Rousey and her friends, including Shayna Baszler, who is in the finals of the Mae Young Classic 32 women single elimination tournament.
Not real.
Don't say that, dude.
I'm
It's
sorry.
predetermined.
Let me
There's a
take it
difference
back.
between predetermined and not real.
So if you were hooking up with a girl and she has predetermined titties,
What I'm saying to you is
you're
this.
fine with that.
What I'm saying to you is this. The finish may be a work, but you can't fake gravity. Punches do slip.
You can
Bumps
fake gravity.
fucking
I've
hurt.
seen movies where they've done that. It's happened.
Anyway,
So real quick, back to what I was saying.
Mark Minko does agree. Best pound for pound fighter. Actually, he said Graham.
Who's
for
this?
Graham. Mark Minko.
Who's Mark Minko?
Marco Minko.
Marco
yeah,
Minko?
Mark's a good dude.
Marco Minko.
I believe this.
Marco Minko. It's just fun to say. Let's all say it together.
Marco
Minko. Marco Minko.
Rousey's going to WWE. That's just all there is to it. She's
Yeah,
already there.
She doesn't have a UFC career anymore.
She doesn't have to.
Because, and this is what I'm going back to with Demetrius Johnson, is and not to the degree that Ronda was so much better than the people that were in her division. I don't think the skill level was quite there on the rest of the division.
All I'm going to say is this. If I had a daughter, I would much rather her have a Ronda Rousey poster on her
I
wall
thought you were going to name her Ronda.
than a Kim Kardashian poster.
Oh, absolutely.
I'll go with that.
I'll agree with that in a second.
Ronda Rousey, okay, look, if you look at the history of MMA, there were people in their divisions, in their weight classes, or just in general, that forced the competition to up their game. Hoist Gracie forced people to learn submissions. Mark Coleman forced people to learn how to wrestle.
He was the first ground and pound guy, though.
But
right?
But he forced people. You better learn how to fucking defend a takedown. Then you had guys
aggressive.
like you had the kickboxers that started coming in. You better learn how to fucking defend high kicks and
was
shit
Hoost
like
in
that.
the UFC?
Who?
Ernesto Hoost?
No, and Mr. Perfect was in K1. He never fought MMA.
Who was the guy that fought in WCW that was also like a K1 guy?
In WCW?
Yes. He did he wrestled for a little bit, but he also fought in
Bob Sapp?
No.
I can't believe you're engaging.
Do you know who I'm
wrestling
talking about?
talk.
No. There's a guy. It'll come back.
Tank Abbott's the only pro in WCW. But in any case, what I mean is there have been people that have elevated the game, like the bar has been raised. GSP, Frank Shamrock, throughout the history, John Jones, despite the steroids. You have people that say, look, this person is the benchmark. Ronda Rousey is whether you like her or not, she is the singular reason why.
Same Ric Flair voice, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or you don't. Ronda Rousey is the reason why women are in the UFC.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Who's Gina Carano was kind of a big person for that as well.
Of course she was.
And Cyborg.
But what I mean is that Ronda Rousey was the right woman with the right skills at the right time. She was the reason why it was marketable. So people that love to tear her down and talk shit, whatever, and look,
Does she have an MMA career still?
If she chose to, but I don't believe that she needs to.
She's not even top 10 right now.
No, she's definitely top 10.
You think so?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I think if she had to start at 10 to work herself up, I bet she would be.
I believe
lose 2 or 3.
I believe
Yeah.
personally.
Easily.
I believe personally that 90% of her problems are mental. And
Who are the guys you see right now that like you see an evolution, right? Like so.
yeah, but what I mean is
hold on.
she elevated the game for her for women's
You
MMA.
gonna let me ask my question?
Ask it.
You all right there?
No, I'm good to go.
All right, okay. So you had the original UFC guys, right?
Mhm.
And then you had Franklin, Liddell, Matt Hughes, all come in and change the game a little bit, right?
Mhm.
And then you had the GSP, Anderson Silva, all these other guys that changed the game again.
John Jones.
John Jones. Well, no, Jones wasn't that during that.
Well, I look at it. You had the pioneers that were specialty guys.
No, I'm asking, who do you see now that's like changing it to take it to that next level? So,
Connor.
Yeah, Connor for sure. You had GSP. Who were all the guys during GSP thing? Like you still had Franklin a little bit. You still had
Hughes.
You still had Hughes. You
Well,
still
I
had
look at it like-
Silva.
Well, I look at it this. I don't want to cut you off. In the
I appreciate
original,
that.
you had Hoist. You had specialists. This is a jiu-jitsu guy.
But it's going back to specialists now.
Hold on. Then what happened was then you had guys that were multifaceted. You had guys that were good wrestlers and boxers. So then you had guys like Maurice Smith, who was a kickboxer who could sprawl. Then you had Frank Shamrock, who was the first guy to put it all together. Good wrestler, good submissions, good boxing, good kickboxing. Then you had Matt Hughes, phenomenal wrestler who had good submissions, who had decent boxing. Then you had GSP, great in all aspects of the game. Now, finally, the final part of that evolution, where you have all these different arts that are distilled into its own definable art, is John Jones. John Jones is that.
I would like to throw somebody in between that. I
Sure.
think Silva, when he came on the scene, you had a guy.
Anderson Silva?
You had a guy who.
Yeah,
who
without
knew
a doubt.
jiu-jitsu, but could box.
Well, no,
like
he was a
crazy.
kickboxer who knew jiu-jitsu. His strong point was striking. But John Jones is that point where you have kids now that train mixed martial arts. It's all of these different parts.
Real quick, when we did the last XCC, there was a guy who came into the ring, like started moving around like Conor McGregor, did a back kick against the cage.
Yeah.
So
You have these kids now that are training mixed martial arts, that are taking all these different disciplines that are distilled down into its own definable art form. But to Chris's point, every now and then you'll get a specialist that fucks everything up, like
Damian Maya.
Lyoto Machida. Lyoto Machida was catching guys with just awkward shit because he was coming with straight karate and was fucking people up. I think now also, if you want to take a look at it, you've got guys like, I think it was Chael Sonnen to Conor McGregor, the guys that are introducing the sports entertainment aspect of it that are talking themselves in the big paydays. Look, say what you will about Conor McGregor, but almost 4 years to the day that he cashed his last unemployment check, he talked himself into the largest payday of one of the greatest grossing boxing matches, and he never had a boxing match in his life, a professional boxing match. So I think honestly, look, the UFC is in a very interesting position right now. The UFC just was recently sold for $4 billion. Those people are going to want to recoup that money. They have very little marketable stars. Ronda Rousey's gone. John Jones just got popped for roids for a second time. Conor McGregor wants to do anything but mixed martial arts. So they need to recoup that money. So they're going to hotshot stuff. They're going to build these big freak fights with CM Punk and things of that nature. That's going to be more commonplace. They are going to be more emphasis on the entertainment factor. And
It's getting to the point where there's so many guys, we don't know who all the guys are anymore.
That's the weird
either,
thing. There was a time that I knew everybody.
yeah,
that was
you
ever
knew,
gonna fight.
but that's just the nature of the fact of they have a lot of events.
But we also never, when we were watching pay-per-views early on, you never got to see all those earlier fights. The only time you saw them is if the
Right.
pay-per-view ended early, and they were going to show you like.
I think to a degree the UFC is a victim of its own success because, to your point, there was a time when being in the UFC was a very special, like, this guy's in
yeah.
the UFC.
Yeah, you're one of 10 guys in a division.
And just like with NFL football, the fact that they only play 16 games means that it means more versus baseball where it's like,
like
we've
180 games.
we've got like fucking
Whatever the
3,000
fuck it
games. Who
is.
cares?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can't. It's like every other weekend or every weekend there's an event. Their roster's like fucking 200 or 300 fighters. They're a victim of their own success. I don't know where the sport is going to go. I have a very negative outlook on where the UFC is going to go, but that's just me.
Where do you think it's going to go?
Only downhill.
See, I don't see it going.
I don't think it's
downhill.
going away at all.
I think-
I see like you were trying to say.
I do.
You actually have athletes now.
Yeah,
learning
but that's
how
a
to
problem.
do everything else.
But that's a problem. For me, okay, and again, this is just my opinion. Number one, back when I was watching it regularly, you had fighters. Now you have high-level athletes. There's a difference. I think the fact that they were recently sold for $4 billion and they got rid of all of the office and all of the backstage personnel.
Yeah, you don't have the same
that
presentation.
built that. They don't know it. They don't have any marketable stars because just by the nature of it.
Let's do this. You ready? I'm gonna.
I think in 5 years the UFC is either gone or unrecognizable.
I'm gonna quiz you. Ready? 135-pound division. Who's the champion?
Garbrandt.
Who's number 2 and 3?
Well, I know Dillashaw is probably 1. I think Dominic Cruz is number 2.
145. Who's the champ?
Well, Conor kind of, but then you've got Max Holloway.
Who's number 1 and 2?
I'd say, well, I don't know where Aldo's at, but I know
155.
Conor again. Kind of.
Right.
But I think they're going to fight for an interim title.
Who's 1 and 2?
You got to say Khabib is number 1.
Right, but it's getting to the point. There's so many guys.
And guess what? Guess what's going to happen if the Ali Act is enabled, is enacted into MMA?
And for anybody who doesn't listen to the show, what is the Ali Act?
The Ali Act is basically a legal action in boxing. It's in boxing now. And it basically says that pay will be non-disclosed pay is gone. So how the UFC doesn't reveal what they're
gonna say whatever these guys.
All
made.
of their stuff pay wise has to be above board. But here's the real thing that's gonna fuck them. That's gonna destroy MMA. Number one, they want to institute a number of weight
Hold
classes.
on, real fast. Did you watch this on one of those videos earlier?
No.
I just want to make sure because you sound like you know what you're talking about, and I just want to make sure.
No, but they want to institute a number of weight classes, and they will take the sanctioning bodies will determine who's number 1, number 2, number 3, etc.
Right, it'll be more like boxing,
Well, yeah,
based on record.
and that could be a problem because
boxing's not up on the up and up either.
It's
way.
not.
well, no. But what I mean is this: I've said it numerous times, at least 100 times on the show. The UFC promotes their brand like pro wrestling. They're about the UFC. If you had the Ali Act enabled into MMA, you would have a third party like a WBC, a WBO, the IBF, etc., right? You would have them determine who's the number one, number two. Irregardless of what promotion you fought for, you would have the number one from the UFC fight for the number one for the title, the light heavyweight title. It doesn't matter what Bellator. They would be forced to have to co-promote. So just like you see many times in boxing, Golden Boy and Top Rank present.
While we're on the subject, who do you see in Bellator, ONE FC, or some of these other ones that would compete with some of these champions?
Michael Chandler for sure is
that,
top 5.
That dude for sure. But he's been a staple in Bellator, right?
Pitbulls, the Pitbull brothers, definitely top 5 in their
Pitbull brothers.
divisions.
How about in the heavier divisions? You don't know who any of those guys are.
Chuck Congo is in there now. He's doing good.
Yeah, but he left UFC because he couldn't.
No, not because he couldn't, because he saw a better payday. Really? Are you going to tell that to that guy?
Yes, I would.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would. Todd would
He
say
seems
that.
super nice.
Todd can take a punch.
No, I think Bellator, Michael Venom Page.
That dude's good. What's he? 170?
185.
Is he that big?
I believe he is. He's
That's
very
a big
tall.
dude.
But if you look at their of their guys,
He's a dude who crushed what's his face's cranium, right?
yeah,
Okay.
they're
Cyborg's husband.
Yeah,
Ex-husband, right?
Cyborg's
yeah,
ex-husband.
Their
Cranium crush face.
is orbital. The Bellator, they are full. Their fighters are definitely full. And look, here's the example I'll give. When they brought the Strikeforce guys over, the Strikeforce guys are second class. Let's look at
all those guys became the champions.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Look,
Cerrone's been always at the top.
Cerrone's
the
been fucking
difference.
awesome.
Well,
I don't think
he
Cerrone
came-
was ever in
No, he
Strikeforce.
came from WEC. But Luke Rockhold, Jacare, etc. The difference, and you'll agree with this, the higher the level of competition gets,
I agree with this.
the thinner the line comes between winning and losing.
Oh my God.
The difference between that's why you can say this person's an Olympian and this person medaled in the Olympics, and the difference is
It's nominal.
it's so many little money things.
Use your word. Your C word.
I'm trying to figure out
It's
somebody.
hair difference.
Red Boy
I wasn't gonna say-
33.
Who's Red Boy
I
33?
don't know. I'm trying to. I can't see the picture.
Does he have a lot of posts in there?
He is.
What's he saying?
The Chamonix Redskin High School football rules. I used to steal Chris's lunch money.
Oh Jesus!
Chris
Clearly,
talks-
I know
Chris-
who this is.
Oh, and it's
Is
Kelly,
it Anthony?
It's Kelly Conger.
Fuck Kelly Con.
Is Kelly a guy or a girl?
No, he's a
guy.
dude, and he's a funny dude. He was in a band called Slapping Balls.
Yeah.
That's the name of the band. Him, our buddy Artie James, and I don't know who the rest of the guys were, but
Kirk, one of the Kirks, I think, was in there.
one of the Kirks was in there, and Kelly's a good dude.
Yes.
So,
He's got one of the best ball tricks ever.
are you talking about his testicles?
Yeah, he can suck one of his testicles inside his stomach.
What?
Yes.
How's he do that?
Must be sheer.
Is this
will-
his Red Boy?
sheer willpower?
Sure. Willpower?
What's his YouTube name? Red Boy what?
Red Boy 33.
Red Boy 33. So if you want to see a guy suck his own testicle up inside his fucking stomach cavity, check out Red Boy 33.
So let's go back to this. Back to the original point. Wilson Hayes versus Henry Cejudo.
Let's go through the card.
Yeah, let's go through the card.
Todd's got the list
Let's go
right
to-
over there.
Toddy.
Todd. Hey, I'm going to do Todd like Fat Albert. Todd. Hey.
All right, so bottom.
From the feet up to the titties.
Let's do it.
Kajan Johnson versus.
Did he just say that?
Adriano
Fucking say that shit again.
Martins.
What's the guy's name?
Kajan Johnson.
Good John.
Kajan.
It's Kajan.
Right.
It's Kahan.
Cajun?
Kahan.
Cajun Johnson. It's
Kahan.
Cajun Johnson.
Raging Cajun.
Look out. Against who?
Adranio.
Let's throw some fighters out that we know for the event. Just skip over them.
Just hit last names. Just hit last names
Yeah,
from now.
go to the ones you know. Todd's not actually from America.
Cejudo. Hayes.
I pick Hayes all day.
It's a good fight.
And
all day, every day.
Cejudo is an Olympic wrestler, right?
Yeah, but he's going to play to Wilson's strength.
And he's going to get taken down. I guarantee it.
Yeah, without a doubt he will.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt. Here's the thing. Cejudo's had a history of weight problems. It'll be very interesting to see how he weighs in.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fight that has a lot of implications for future title fights.
It's got implications.
Especially if Ray Borg pulls off the impossible and wins, because that opens the
There's
division
no
up.
chance in that.
Well, look.
What's he ranked? He's got to be like,
Top 10. Obviously, he's fighting.
he's like 8 or 9 probably, right?
But what I mean is this. If Ray Borg manages to do the impossible and win, they're going to have an immediate rematch for Mighty Mouse just because of the sheer number of title defenses that he's already had. So automatically he's going to get that. So that's going to tie the division up.
So
Wilson
did
wins
you just
against...
jump to the tits?
No, I'm
You
just saying.
did. You started tweaking the nipples.
It's about this.
Are you tweaking the
implications?
goddamn nipples?
Whoever wins this fight is in line for a future title fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Anybody in the top 3 or 5's already fought Mighty Mouse and lost, but they're in there. The best thing for all of those guys in the top 5.
Like, you go outside of Mighty Mouse versus any of those guys, like, take Mighty Mouse out of the picture.
Yeah.
It's a pick 'em.
Yeah.
Like any one of those dudes could beat anybody else on any given day, like number 1 through 10, right? Demetrius Johnson out there, it's a whole different thing. But him in there, and Ray Borg beats him, that's a fucking thing.
It opens the division up once they have that second or third fight. I think Wilson wins this just due to the fact that Cejudo has had a history of making weight problems. His stand-up has never impressed me.
And Wilson's has gotten better every fight.
The only thing that I think is a problem is that this could be an ugly stand-up fight.
Yeah,
Where
I don't like that where you have 2 grapplers and they decide they're going to box.
Well, look, if Wilson has a problem taking this guy down, and he very well could. I mean, the guy's an Olympic fucking gold medalist.
Wilson still has the better hands, I think.
He has the heavier hands.
Heavier hands for sure.
I don't know if he has the better hands.
Who's the guy with the skin thing where he fucking left a footprint on him?
Scott Jurgensen.
Yeah.
But what I mean is that Wilson is naturally a bigger guy. I believe that he has the heavier hands. I don't know if he has the better hands, but when you're wearing fucking 4-ounce gloves, you don't need to. The only thing is that I believe that Cejudo, he trains with Jackson?
Yes.
He trains with a good team. They're going to tell him, like, look, don't try to take this fucking guy down in the first round.
You do that stupid teep kick, I'm going to fucking get annoyed.
But what I mean is that if you try to take this kid down in the first couple rounds, the first round especially, you're playing into his strength. You're dry. He's a submission guy.
Okay, so you got Hayes, right?
Very good from the fucking half guard, the half guard sweep, the Wilson's. That's like that Wilson Hayes half guard sweep. If I'm in Wilson's corner, throw as you will, because if he takes you down,
unleash the Kraken.
Who gives a fuck?
Who's the next fight on the card, Todd?
Now we're going to So Red Boy 33 did say, if you need a guest, ball tricks cost extra.
Oh shit! God damn! This is first time watching, I think.
It is. So we got McMahon and Vieira.
Vince McMahon. Well, you see, Vince
Some
McMahon
of
is
these
the
guys, we
genetic
don't know who they
jackhammer.
are.
Sarah McMahon.
Is it
Oh,
Shane
okay.
McMahon?
Sarah McMahon.
Shane.
Oh, it's a girl.
Right?
It's
Vince.
Sarah.
Is it
Here
Vince?
comes the money.
Is it Vince?
No chance. No chance in hell. You got.
It's Sarah McMahon.
Vince McMahon's going to make his first appearance on
Sarah-
SmackDown for the
Sarah
first time in 4
McMahon
years
is-
this Tuesday on SmackDown Live.
Sarah McMahon is the
USA Network.
She's had some good fights in the past,
Shane
right?
McMahon just got suspended.
She's got the mom body too, right?
No.
No,
No?
not Sarah.
She's
not Sarah?
jacked. She's got big shoulders.
Really?
Yeah, she's got the big old shoulders where you're like, you ain't
Got
jerking
the
me
shoulder boulder.
off. You ain't jerking
Got
me
the
off.
shoulder boulder.
No.
She's not jerking you off.
Not
All right.
with them shoulders.
Let's say you think she's a dude and you pay for it, right? And you find out she's a chick. Do you let her finish?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Next fight.
I'm greedy, motherfucker. I can't.
We got Stevens versus Melendez.
Which Stevens is it?
Ooh,
Jeremy?
Stevens.
Versus Gilbert Melendez.
Gilbert
That's
Melendez
a fucking awesome
making
fight.
his 145-pound debut, ladies and gentlemen.
Does this say their age? Because Gilbert's got to be, what, 32, 33 right now?
Not only
And
that,
Jeremy's like 27.
Here's the thing. Jeremy Stevens has been competing while Gilbert Melendez has been serving a suspension due to steroids.
Jeremy's 31. Gilbert is
35.
35.
Damn.
Gilbert
no.
Melendez has got a hot-ass wife, though.
She is good looking. Who do you got?
Jeremy Stevens all day. Gilbert
Jer-
Melendez
he's
hasn't
got-
been competing.
I got
But Jeremy,
Melendez.
Melendez, if he's not competing, I guarantee he's still training.
Look, I got to be honest. He trains with those.
Just got the engineer.
He just went all dolphin on us.
I'm just going to say this. he trains with Nate Diaz. I like Nick Diaz. I can't stand Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is a fucking delusional douche.
20 million.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck him. Gilbert Melendez. There is a difference between training and competing. I believe Gilbert Melendez is going to be knocked out. TKO.
Has he been knocked out? I don't think he's ever been knocked out. Gilbert Melendez is a tough motherfucker.
It's about to happen.
He's
He's
tough
got that whole
motherfucker.
SoCal fucking yeah.
But
dude,
you know what?
Fuck him.
If you look at the four of those dudes, right? You look at the two fucking Diaz brothers,
Jeremy
Melendez,
Stevens,
and
by third round TKO.
and who's the other guy that's now training in at Henzo in New York? Danaher. What the hell is his other name? He's a grappler. He's the other guy. Like, just fucking answer the question. The fourth guy of their crew.
Jake Shields?
Jake Shields.
Ugh.
It seems like Jake Shields and Gilbert Melendez have separated themselves from the group, kind of.
You think?
I think they've been left behind.
I don't think they've been left. Yeah, they may have been left behind, but I think they've kind of pulled themselves away from the group a little bit.
Is Shake Shields? He's got the tattoos on his.
No, he's got the one. No, you're thinking. I know who you're thinking of. Jake Shields has got the.
You're
one
thinking of
snaggletooth.
Viggo Mortensen in Eastern Promises, where he fought in a bathhouse naked.
Similar tattoo. Who's the next fight on the card, Todd?
All right, we got Latifi versus Tyson Pedro.
Lear Latifi versus Tyson
Pedro.
I don't know who Tyson Pedro is, but I like Lear Latifi.
I don't need
Latifi's a tough dude.
whatever.
You don't think he's a tough dude?
I don't even know who the fuck he is.
If you saw he's gonna if you see his face, you'll know who he is. He'll
You
punch a
have to
hole
know.
in your face.
Does he work at Franklin Mills Mall?
He works at the mall next to it, which is the. Yeah, you know who that dude is.
I guarantee I make more than a year than he does, and I have better health insurance.
You think so?
I don't, without a doubt. That's what I wanted to talk about.
So you make at least $32,000 a year.
Do you know what the average? Hold on, seriously, serious question. Do you know what the average income of a UFC fighter is in 2017?
$67,000, $230.
$42,000.
Look it up, Todd.
Nationwide?
The average.
Nationwide?
Listen,
Nationwide?
the average medial income of a UFC fighter
Look it up, Todd.
Oh.
is $42,000.
That's income from the
Listen.
UFC.
That
Hold on.
That doesn't count.
That is-
Stop.
That is 20,000 more than he'll get
Stop.
from working at Pep Boys.
Hold on.
That's very true.
That doesn't count having to pay out training partners, gym costs,
Gym
travel
memberships.
costs, all that shit. And I guarantee I've got better health benefits than them. So guess what?
Does your health benefits cover dental,
Yeah.
medical,
Yes.
vision? God
Yes.
damn.
So guess
your
what?
fucking
And I don't
medical
get
is
punched
better.
in the fucking face for a living. I mean, figuratively, but not literally. Because this is the cash register.
Somebody said this looks like a blue ball sack.
What?
There's a reason for it.
What did they say?
They say the blue mic cover looks like a ball sack in
to
Todd's
say.
face.
Blue balls.
The blue ball sack in
Put
his
them in your
face.
mouth.
Is it? Was it?
You thought about it for a second. You thought about it for a second.
Who's the next fight on the card?
Magny versus Dos Anjos.
That's a good fight.
Dos Anjos.
That's a good fight, though.
Dos Anjos.
I'm taking Magny. Dos Anjos has been on a downtrend for
What
fucking
weight
last
class
couple
is it?
fights. 170.
170.
Exactly. And that's why I think the weight cut.
Magny's been at 170 for a while. You don't make that face.
I
You
think
do
that
not make that
I think
face.
as Dos Anjos has gotten older, the weight cut's been harder. I think he's going to be.
You just picked Dos Anjos, though.
Yeah, but what I mean is, I think that you're going to see a guy that is not suffering from the weight cut with the diminishing
He's at
returns.
a natural weight.
He's at his natural weight. I think that Dos Anjos is more well-rounded. I think he's got heavier hands. He's got obviously better submissions. I think that this is going to be the fight where either Dos Anjos has a career renaissance and makes a run for the 170-pound
A
title.
renaissance, if you will. Say it
Or-
like a French guy. Like
or
I said.
renaissance. Well, that's an Italian word.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's no renaissance in French.
It will be a renaissance.
Say it in Italian.
Renaissance.
Say it in French.
Renaissance.
Say it in French.
Renaissance.
Italian.
Renaissance.
French.
Renaissance.
Italian.
Renaissance.
French.
Renaissance.
French.
Renaissance.
French.
Renaissance. Oui, oui.
So you have the Rafael Dos Anjos.
All day, every day.
I'm going to take Neil Magny. And
I got Magny as well.
And we all know
And you're a jiu-jitsu guy?
when it.
No.
And I am.
Really?
I am.
Really? And you're picking Neil Magny over Dos Anjos?
Yes.
You're
I
gonna be a brown buff forever.
We have had so many bets on fights, and if we do the average of who's the winner, who's the loser,
Oh, like the guy was
You-
supposed to dress up in a women's dress and
you
hasn't
have
done it yet.
lost more bets.
Where's that picture of you in a women's dress?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I still owe that?
Yeah, you have
I do
not.
still owe that. Okay. You know what? Next episode, I'm gonna wear a dress. Actually, when we had the skeleton in here, I was gonna wear a dress.
Yeah, you were going to, but you didn't.
Yeah, you kind of you fucked it up.
I've forgotten more about jiu-jitsu than you'll learn.
Really?
Have you ever lived with a jiu-jitsu black belt world champion? I have. In your face. How's it taste? Tastes like Diet Coke. Holla.
So wait a second. Since you lived with somebody, you know more jujitsu?
Yeah, he would fucking like with mind bullets be like,
You know what we should do? Let's do this. Let's do this. Show's over, right?
yeah,
You and I grapple on film.
we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
I'll submit the shit out of you.
I will break every bone in your body.
I'll tickle your nuts. You'll be like, oh shit, and
Listen.
then I'll be like, pass that guard.
There's no tonguing allowed.
I'll do whatever I got to do to win.
Next fight.
Who's the next fight?
Nunez versus Shevchenko.
Nunez.
Oh, yeah, Nunez all day. She's
That
so much
is-
bigger.
This was the fight that she backed out on
Yes.
before.
That
Yes.
is one angry Brazilian bulldog.
She's an angry bitch. What did he say?
She's got the same haircut as me. She's an angry
Connor
bitch.
said he made you wear dresses in school.
You know, fucking Connor still owes me all his lunch money from high school. Fucking son of a bitch.
And then that takes us to the finals.
Who's the-
Johnson versus Borg.
Demetrius Johnson versus Ray Borg. I already got a message from Diana, by the way.
Did you?
Yeah, she's like, I'm not gonna message Bullet because he's kind of a prick. I'll send it to Chris.
Stalker.
She said she had a tough weight cut and she couldn't make it.
That's
So
understandable.
she apologizes, and I sent her a message. I said, you know what? Sorry you couldn't come on the show. We still love you anyway. We wish you luck.
She should wear that.
A lot of love
Wonder
for
Woman thing.
Diana
Yeah.
Caravas.
Yeah.
She's got a fight coming up in what, New York?
New York City tomorrow
New York
night.
City tomorrow night for a amateur title.
Yes, and I don't know what league it's in, but check her out.
But
You
good
follow
luck.
her on D Caravas on Instagram.
Yeah, it's good luck to her. She's a good girl.
Yeah, she's awesome. She was a great guest.
Good people.
and we're not upset about not having her on at all.
Friend of the show, and I even said to her, "Look, if it's going to be a hard weight cut, totally understand."
Yeah, it's not an issue. But Ray Borg versus Demetrius Johnson, I picked fucking Demetrius all day.
First round TKO.
First round?
First round.
Demetrius doesn't have a lot of TKOs, though. He's more of a point guy.
Really?
Not lately.
No?
Lately he's been doing.
Who's he knocked out?
Well, he's
I should never opened up my mouth.
Who's he knocked out? No, he submitted Wilson. He's who?
He knocked out Tim Elliott, right?
Yeah.
Did he knock out Henry
Hold on.
Cejudo?
Whether it's a
He did knock out
let's just
Cejudo.
say stoppage.
Let's have a stoppage.
Dotson he knocked out.
Yeah. Okay.
Benavidez.
So my money is on Demetrius Johnson.
This motherfucker wants to go back home and play Xbox. He's like,
That's
fuck
all-
this shit.
That's all he wants.
I'm gonna go play Destiny
That's
2 on
all he
Xbox.
wants.
You actually look at his when you see that, like he's got not a bad life. He goes trains for a little bit,
And he plays
doesn't
video
leave-
games all day.
Doesn't leave, plays video games for a little bit, relaxes.
It's
and
very-
goes back.
very
I
similar
did
to
try
our
to
life.
I did try to harass him on Xbox Live though.
He didn't
I was
even
like,
flinch, did he?
I was like, Wilson Ace is gonna kick your ass,
He's like, I already got 2 other messages.
and he's like, fuck you, honky.
So
I was like, you married a white chick, so fuck you too.
we're 3 episodes away from our 200th episode, and that's 200 fucking episodes, dude. 200. Think about that number. That's one more than 199. It's a lot of fucking episodes.
It's crazy when you think about it,
Yeah, and
because
so,
I was like, who can I do this show with? It's like I can talk, and I'm like, that guy Chris who almost put me through the mirrors on the wall.
Jiu-jitsu.
I'll ask him. And then I was like, on the phones, I've got Christopher the Kid Perry, and he's like,
Yeah.
hello,
We're-
hello, ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Hello,
Thank you
ladies
for
and
having-
gentlemen. This is a kid on
Thank-
talking about.
Thank you for having
But-
me on your show.
But we're almost 200 shows into this, and we're on iTunes.
6 years.
We're on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio.
6 years.
We have multiple sponsors.
6 years.
We're the Extreme Cage Combat Color Commentators.
6 years we've been doing this shit.
It's actually almost 7. If you look at some of the
In
dates.
next week will be our 6-year anniversary.
Next year will
When
be our.
is my 1 year?
Next week. When?
Yeah.
You got a little while still,
Let
guys.
me just look. You want me to break it down for you, Todd?
Break it down. Break it down.
Here's the thing with the podcast.
It's all you now. All on you.
when I first
Camera on him?
had the idea to do a podcast, the entire idea was
How can I get Chris to
No.
fucking be on the show?
no. Here's the idea. The whole entire idea of the podcast was to do something that I wasn't relying on anybody else to do. It was
Difficult
because playing in bands, it was, oh, the drummer can't make that gig, or the guitar player's not going to be in town for this.
Is
or
Todd
that.
our drummer? Is he our drummer?
No,
He's not the drummer?
I'm going to put him over.
Oh, all right.
So
Hold on, let me sit back for this.
the entire day, it was, this is going to be my thing. I'm going to do what I want to do, blah, 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 blah. So I did about like 8 episodes with a friend of mine and just tried it out, tried to find a format.
Who's the friend?
My buddy Pete. And it was
Fuck
never published.
Pete.
Right?
Fuck Pete's a dick.
No, he's a good dude.
Fuck Pete.
And then I was like,
He's
okay.
who's the guy in the Beatles that didn't quite make it to the Beatles?
Oh, I knew you were talking about the guy who wants to shoot himself.
Yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah. And then I published the last one we did. And then I was like, oh, I got to get my buddy Chris on. So somehow my show became our show. And through all of the series of changes, like they
And
happened.
somehow our show became my show,
Hold,
and I let you
see,
on.
that's what I want to talk about. So,
I do the studio.
so organically, all these changes happened. And then what happened was he's like, hey, I think I'm going to have my brother doing this way. He can kind of man the cameras and blah, blah, blah.
6 years that we're fucking throwing him in.
But at this point, it's become a 3-man show to the point where it's completely equal. That if Todd can't do it, we can't do it. If Chris can't do it, we can't do it. If I can't do it, you guys will try to do it, but then you'll just erase it after you do it, like you did that last one.
on Instagram, on YouTube.
Bang, bang.
No, that was a test.
You call it what you want. It was dog
It was
shit.
the mobile stuff.
It was.
Yeah, it was a
I know.
test. It was
I
a
know.
test.
I'm just joking. But it's at the point where it's like it's a 3-guy show. It's our show.
It's a 3G show.
Yeah, because we are looked out, G's, because we're crazy. Death Row's a label that pays me. I think it's weird though. If you look at it just from what it started as to now, it's crazy. But all the things that have happened have been organically, with the video and everything else. My only goal for doing this show was I want to be on iTunes and Stitcher, and everything that's happened has just been gravy. So at this point, we do have another show, a companion show. It's called Outcasts, which that was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
we have
it
it
happened
live.
organically.
We have it live where we came up with it. It's not going to be set. It's not going to be every week because it's
It's just stuff we don't do on here.
if we've got something we want to do, we'll do it. But it is kind of crazy to think about, like 6 years, like
200.
I'm gonna call this guy Chris up and be on my.
Like religiously every Wednesday or Thursday for years.
Well, there was years where there was some times where we didn't do it as much, but ever since, I'd say definitely the past year,
we
we've
added the video.
been pretty fucking solid
You
with
guys
it.
really need to think about 200. What you're gonna do?
I want to do a live show.
I'll do a live show.
I want to have.
Got it.
We
Gotta
could
be
fill
something.
this room, or we go somewhere and fill up another place.
I want to have dancers.
That's fine.
So you want live people in the audience?
Yes,
Yes,
Oh, shit.
and
Yeah.
I want to have cleavage.
we can get at least 6 or 7 people in the crowd.
I want to
It's
have.
gonna be
I
fucking
want
awesome.
to have butt cleavage. I want to say a couple things. Number one,
butt cleavage.
I do have family and friends in Florida and Georgia that are going to get hit by Irma.
We want them to be on the show.
Be safe out there. My brother Bob, be safe out there,
Where's
bro.
Bob at?
Georgia.
But Ghost Hunter Bob?
Yeah.
I love Bob. That was one of my favorite episodes.
He's like, I told him, I was like, you're everybody's favorite honeycut now. Thanks a lot, Dick. And he's like,
He was awesome.
he's got a strong pimp hand.
What we should do is we should pick out the.
We're going to fly him up. and be
Different
like,
highlight-
Fuck it, you're going to be in studio.
Well, you can pay for that, but we're gonna fucking.
Well, I'm planning to go down in November.
Well, then I'll go too.
You want to?
No, we need to get him up here for Halloween,
He can stay at my place.
and we go on a tour with him.
Yes.
I'll call him up and ask him. But we need butt cleavage. We need titty cleavage on the show. We need
Right.
dancers.
I will sit over here and be on my best behavior while you're getting all that. I will be the Fred Norris of the group
Yeah.
and not get involved in that. 'cause
Todd
that'll
can
just get me in trouble.
Todd can get some play because he'll be off camera.
Yeah, you get a quick
We're on
handy off
camera.
to the side.
We're on camera.
Look, your wife likes me, I think, as a person.
Kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit.
But what we're saying is episode 200 is going to be special.
We want your ideas on what we should do for 200. Maybe some musical performances.
Maybe. This weekend we have
We've already got a volunteer for a ball trick for the 200.
we got Kelly. He's going to do it. We have mutual friends who are doing that thing this weekend down at Dave and Buster's. Who's the band out of Baltimore?
Oh yeah, my band, my buddy Omar, his band Lovey. They're playing a 3-day festival. They're going to be there.
They're playing there. My buddy Zach is Madeline Hayes. His band is playing
Divine.
down there. Yeah, he's playing down there.
I just wished him a happy birthday.
When are you playing
Good for
again?
you.
I
Are you
don't
playing
think he
anytime
likes
soon?
me.
No, Here's the thing. He acted like he knew you because he watches the show all the time.
Yeah, but I
You
don't
got
think he
upset.
likes me.
No, he's a good dude. He's one of the nicest guys.
Ask him if he likes me.
He said no.
Call him up right now.
I'm not gonna call him up right now.
Why?
No, I guarantee you, like she's one of the nicest guys.
I don't think he likes me.
Are you playing
There's
anytime
nothing
soon?
not to like.
We've got some gigs coming up, but here's the thing. I am the artiste of the band where I don't concern myself with the minutia of gigs and all.
So
I
you're
am
the
only
talent.
about the art. Yeah, I am
You're
the
like
talent.
I am for this show.
Exactly. Don't
On that note, here's what we need from our fans and people that watch the show. We get a ton of listeners on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, right?
share the show.
We get a shitload. We need the people that watch the video to share the video. We need people that listen to us on those other three opportunities, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, iTunes.
Overcast,
Share those. Oh, we're on Overcast as well?
Blueberry. Yep.
Blueberry. Share it if you're on the show because it only benefits us to gather more people.
We're trying to get our dick sucked.
Bill's trying to get his dick sucked by somebody who's not a tranny. And if
Well, I'm
you
not
are a
trying.
tranny
I'm
and you
getting my dick
reveal
sucked
yourself
just fine.
in the middle of the dick sucking, he will allow you to finish.
All I'm
So-
saying is this. I don't discriminate. I don't hate. I congratulate. I masturbate. I pontificate.
On that note,
I'm trying to think of words that end with 8. I reiterate.
good day to you,
Good day.
people.
Goodbye.